chug that thing already, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why it has a little lock.
Oh, where? Where does that look
Right
like?
here has like a little lock.
Oh, because you had it on private, no? You had it on private, babe. That's why it says like locked view.
Is it waiting for 6:35 or?
Huh? We went up 175 subscribers in the last 28 days. Almost 1,000 subscribers, babe.
It's saying it's streaming, but I don't see anybody.
It's not private? No.
Oh, there we go. I don't know why it was under.
Private? Because you had put it private, babe. I'm nervous. Should I sit more on this edge?
Talk to the mic, see if people can see it now.
Are we live already?
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go. Wait, are we live? We're live, babe?
Yeah, look, you see the comments. Sorry, guys,
Oh,
for
there
the
you
technical
go.
difficulties.
Hey.
We're over here just getting started, getting familiarized. Can you guys hear us okay or no?
Hello, beautiful. Can you guys hear us?
Hi, guys.
This is
Yay.
so cool.
This is cool.
Let's go. Hi. Hi, guys. Hi, Gabriella.
What's up?
Suli,
What's up? What's
Lisette,
up?
Perla. Yes, yes. Hey, guys. Yes. Hi from San Diego. Yay. We got San Diego. We got some locals.
Let's go.
Oh, my gosh. How cool. Look at that.
This is
They
crazy.
can hear us.
We got 61 people on there right now.
Is there a way to connect to my TV?
Yeah, if you could just go on YouTube, it'll show the live stream now. So everything, it's public now. Just I was trying to figure out. I'm barely getting used to like the system, to be able to use it properly. But we should be able to do this now moving forward with ease. We actually have you guys on a computer. I mean on
On our TV
On our
connected.
TV.
This is why you see me looking this way, is because I'm reading the comments. Hello from Arizona. Hi, Seria. Adam, I'm from Brawley. Hi, Bianca. From Bakersfield.
Let's
Nice
go.
to see you guys again from Arizona. Thank you, Lissy. This is amazing. I got it. Thank you. You guys are so great. Hi from San Diego. Yay.
Let's go.
Arizona.
So we're just
Wow,
gonna
we
wait
got
a couple
lot.
seconds so everybody can sign on.
Ale, y'all inspire me. I want to meet you guys. I'm in San Isidro. Whoa, what happened to all the comments? Are we able to
Like
are
what?
we able to see like the comments that are going super high up? Is it like Instagram?
Yeah.
You know how you can stop them? And
Well, yeah, but
scroll
we
them?
just have to go on the computer.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get this
Chicago.
show started. Instead of looking at the
know.
TV, we're gonna look over here.
We're just getting
Yeah,
used to all this.
it's getting used to it, so it's gonna be a little bit getting used to going back and forth. But anyways, basically the whole like the way this whole thing came about and why we decided to call it, breakthrough conversations. First, it was an inspiration by one of my clients and one of my mentors, him 500. He actually does live videos every Wednesdays as well. He basically talks about different topics about business, traumas, etc. So I personally got inspired because I'm the one that actually clips those clips, and I'm like, damn, there's so much value and so much game just in the conversation, right? And then I also looked, there's really none of this like on our space, and especially in a couple's perspective, to just be able to kind of shine light. And then me and Anita always have these like really dope conversations, deep conversations off camera when we're driving, etc. So I'm like, why don't we just sit down, have a full conversation, you and I, about stuff that we generally love, and we pretty much like nerd out and geek out when we're having these conversations, right? So that's kind of how this whole thing came about.
Also too, I think our last video that we posted.
Also too, somebody said get closer. Before anybody starts saying that we don't love each other because we don't sit close, or it's just that has nothing to do with it. Just let me just make that clear.
I know, seriously.
Because I already know who we're gonna say.
Like, why are you guys? I don't know. I think you guys want us to be like all up in each other.
Yeah, we're having a conversation. We're having a conversation with somebody you're not like in their ear. You know what I mean?
I think because they feel like since we just got back together, I think they want to see like more how
affectionate.
Your honeymoon stage, you're like more affectionate, and we are. Don't get us wrong, like behind closed doors, like we're very
scenes.
like lovey-dovey and stuff, but obviously it kind of feels weird doing that. I don't know. It's
yeah,
just
no, because it's
like here.
Like if you guys follow me on IG, like I've been a little bit just kind of MIA, not posting as much. Like I'll post here and there, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with I'm grateful to have my family back. You know what I mean? So because of that, I'm spending time with them off camera. I'm spending time with them, just playing with the kids. Watching TV. We
movie night.
Killed the whole series of Better Call Saul, and then now we're on Breaking Bad, catching back up. So it's a lot of little things like that don't get publicized on social media, but just because they're not being publicized doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. But yeah, so I mean, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, I know we went. No, but anyways, guys, like I was saying, I think also too the whole this was inspired because of our last video. There were so 100%. Many of you commenting and saying like, because I think you had said, let us know if we should do like a podcast or something about like going into topics more in detail, and a lot of you guys were like, yes, we want to hear more, start a podcast. So that kind of inspired us too. But obviously, knowing Jose, if you guys don't know him, he likes to do things very unique. He was like, I don't want to do podcasts like everybody's doing podcasts. He's like, I want to do the live stream. And I was like, wait, what? Like, that's actually a thing. And I'm so new to all this. So this was like, yes, like I'm so down, because it is very different than podcast style. Right. And
I feel like it's going to get a little some time getting used to it. But again, I just want to be able to have conversations with, her, how we normally have them, like off camera. We talk about parenting. We talk about everything that's going on right now as a society, stuff that we had to relearn and rewire when it came to like culture, like things that we grew up thinking. Yeah. Like even little things as like, when people get so close to you or like honk at you, or they don't let you pass to the other lane, is because they have something going on in their life, right? It's little things like that we just kind of like nerd out and have deep conversations about. But we're also pretty excited to be able to bring on Mila. Mila's gonna be our first guest, to just really just have a real conversation. Like the other day I was asking her like, Mama, like how do you feel that we are as parents? You know what I mean? And then, she gave her perspective. So I really want that to kind of be like I want to have her come on and just have her talk and give her honest opinion. Because I think for the most part, people don't really see us like on the back end side, where we really we're parents, we're human beings, right? And that's when our kids obviously get to experience us the most. And also, yes, we do work a lot, but at the same time, whenever we are together, we spend a lot of time together. So I want her to kind of talk and see how her perspective and how she feels. You know what I mean? Yeah,
because sometimes it's so different. Obviously, as parents, we might be hard on ourselves, like I'm not doing enough, and we don't really take the time to sit down and talk to your kids or
Yeah.
like be asking them, how does this make you feel? How are we doing as a job, as our job as parents? So I think that's going to be really interesting. Also, if you guys are parents out there, maybe you guys can learn from this. Maybe she might say something that
we have never heard.
That
It's
we've
literally
never
going to be
heard.
live. We're not telling her, hey, we're going to ask you these questions.
Yeah,
and
we haven't. We just
Yeah.
told her, Mila, would you be okay going on a
podcast
on a
with us.
podcast with us? And she was like, sure, yeah. So we don't even know exactly what we're gonna be asking
It's
her.
gonna be nerve-wracking. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, Mila, am I doing a good job?
No,
well, I don't like the
think-
way you do this.
Right.
That's gonna be scary.
But I think it's so important when you have kids that you take the time to consider their feelings, their opinions, because you want to treat them like they're part of your family, right? And you want them to be comfortable
Well, they
enough
are.
to. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, see, this would have been cut out.
We just rent them.
Oh my god. No, but damn, I lost what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. I just
No, it's
cut you off.
okay. What was I saying?
It's like about being considerate of them and how they feel.
Yeah,
and
so
like
it
include
also
them.
gives them at such a young age, make them feel comfortable enough to speak up, to know that even though we're her parents, she can come up to us and tell us how she's feeling, and she knows we're considerate of her feelings. So, that's it'll be interesting, and it'll be fun to have you guys obviously witness that on a live video and just bond with us in a different way.
Yeah, because I feel like this is more intimate. This is
For
really.
sure.
If like this, I want this to be kind of like if you guys were here chilling with us, just in my house,
Exactly.
just having a conversation, similar how when we're riding the car, we just go deep into, different topics.
With our
and
friends, like close friends, these are the type of conversations we like to have, and we geek out about them,
Yeah.
right? It'd be cool. Like, imagine if we were to do like a
like an in-person one.
in-person.
Comment if you guys would be down if we did like a live show like this, and then you guys can just sit right here in the background, just chilling, seeing the whole thing go live and the whole
Yeah,
experience.
that would be so
Comment if
sick.
you guys would be down for that. You guys would
Look,
be interested.
Barbados. That is so cool.
Let's go.
You guys are awesome. You all seem so real and genuine. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Hello, Jam family. Kids have a voice too. Yes, so down. Look at everybody.
Let's go.
That would be so
That'd be super
cool,
sick, huh? Yeah.
Like just doing it in person.
Yeah, I think even adding onto that, like Anita and I have been talking about, just documenting a little bit about what we do in terms of like the behind the scenes. If you guys saw one of the recent posts that we did on Instagram, we started talking about how even though, obviously, yes, we just, solidified it. We just came back together but we haven't really been building as a team, as a collective, even prior to everything that happened, right? So I think right now we're in a really good headspace, both in personal, business, etc., to where we really just want to take things to a whole another level and really build as a family, really build as a team. And so today we spent the day shooting content for Anita for her business, and we're documenting everything strategically so that, we're going to be able to teach other people how to grow your business, whether you're a content creator like myself, or even her, a permanent makeup artist, and just document it so that it's social proof to be able to now bring you guys that information so that you guys can go take that information, do with it as you please, build your business, learn marketing, learn all these things that I have personally, doubled down over the last 5 years, and obviously her now, doing this as a career. So we just really want to document everything, just show the behind the scenes, because I think even though we get the opportunity to show you guys a little bit of our life on a 15-minute YouTube video or YouTube vlog, there's a lot more to it. Obviously for us as people, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than a 15-20 minute video that you get to see of us. And I feel this is super cool, because I think we do have a platform, and I think a lot of times people are telling us that we inspire them, that they want, to aspire to have something like us. But at the end of the day, we're just like you. Like I'm a kid from the hood, grew up in Barrio Logan my entire life. Came from Mexico when I was 5, obviously her too as well.
Yeah.
So
And
we are just like you guys,
And also too, like the beautiful thing about this too is I was telling him that I'm so new to like this business. Obviously I've been in the beauty industry for a while, but I never really took my business 100% like, oh my gosh, devoted into it, right? So this time around I'm 100% like into it. But there is a lot that goes behind the scenes, like the whole marketing thing. I have no idea. Even right now, I mean, we were shooting some videos for me, and I was so nervous. And a lot of you guys might think, oh, because she's on camera, you know, she's done YouTube videos and all of this and that, you must feel so comfortable being in front of camera. And yes, at a certain extent, but I was so nervous earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like I kept repeating myself, redoing the shot, and I told him, I want to save these files because, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of business owners out there that are going to probably want to take their business to the next level, hire a content creator or do it themselves, and they're going to feel like, oh man, like what do I say, you know, and not feel lonely to where I was even struggling, you know. It's like normal, it's part of the process, but just taking my business from the ground up is going to be sick, and then everybody witnessing it. So I'm excited.
So do you guys have any questions? Somebody said, what can you share some advice when couple fights about the smallest things working? I think when it gets to the point to where you start fighting over the small details is because it's something deeper than that on a personal level, on the individual level, right? I think for us, we never really had little arguments that.
I think we did though when we first got together, but we were we were like 16 years old. Obviously, we were, you know, in high school.
Super immature.
We had a lot of traumas from our childhood that were never even, we didn't even know what traumas were. So I think all of that really played a big part until we would have arguments over the smallest, dumbest things, you know, that now I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we used to argue over that, you know.
But I think a lot of it comes with like being happy with yourself, you know. And I think if you're not happy with yourself, it'll kind of
portray onto everything.
But it'll kind of like spill over to the relationship, right? Because I was literally we were having this conversation earlier, and I was telling her that sometimes I'm with them, but I'm not all there, right? And sometimes like she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, nothing, I'm good, right? But in the back of my mind, I'm beating myself up for not having done things that I should have done ahead of time, so that when I was with them, my mind was clear, knowing that I did everything that I needed to take care of, so that I can just focus on them instead of having to worry in the back of my mind and I forgot to do something or I procrastinated on something. So I think those little things kind of make me act a different way, because I know there's things in the back of my mind that I didn't take care of, and that makes me feel like I'm mad at myself, right? And it can, and that's just an example, right? For somebody else, it can be, you know, money issues. It can be, you know, they don't like the way they look.
So many
little details, right? And I think the deeper that you dive into those things and you become aware of like, hey, what are the things that I'm not addressing in my life personally that's making me feel this way, right? I heard a quote, and we were just talking about this earlier, that says something around the lines of like, whenever, how did it go? It was something about like the anxiety and the emotions that you're feeling are happening because you're not addressing something that you should have addressed already, right? And I think a lot of us do that, right? Whenever we're just like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, like I have a whole laundry thing worth of doing and I'm not doing it, it compounds to where in the back of your mind, you know that there are certain things that you didn't do and that you didn't fulfill for yourself to give you that peace of mind, and then it just compounds into everything else. And any little thing that you do or I do, it's going to trigger that reaction, you know? It's
so true. So true.
Add on to it, baby.
Monday?
Add on to it.
Oh.
You're here with
Well, it's because I was reading some comments and I started like thinking about what I was going to answer. No, but yeah, I agree 100%. I think because like I was telling him too, when I'm at the house and I don't have a clean space, I can't function. I feel like I can't, let's say I have to film an integration, but my house is like, or my room is dirty, I just feel like, even though I'm like, okay, I'll close the door, but in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about it. And then I'm just kind of like, I feel overwhelmed, you know? So just taking care of it. And then that, like you said, it reflects onto.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the key things, because here's I'm going to give this perspective, right? And bear with me. There's two forms of depression, right? One where it's like a chemical imbalance in the mind, which is like something that's a lot more harder to control. And then self-induced depression. And self-induced depression is what a lot of people are feeling right now. and now they label themselves as like, oh, I'm depressed or I'm this, when they don't realize that it's not a chemical imbalance. It's more of you just gone deep so into this like hole that you've dug for yourself by not being in your best shape, by not living the life that you want to live, by not making the money that you want to make, by not being the partner that you want to be, by not having the body or the look or the style that you want to have. You can really control. Yeah, and then on top of that, you add social media, and of course you're gonna feel sad. You know what I mean? Even us, like we were talking about this earlier. Like we can be doing good for ourselves, but again, if I know that, hey, I'm not in the shape that I want to be, or hey, I'm not doing certain things that I know I should be doing
on a certain area,
then I start kind of feeling sad, and I'm like, why? And then boom, I analyze it, because you didn't do this, because you aren't working out, because you aren't eating the way that you're supposed to be eating, because you aren't spending enough time. Like all these little things, that the biggest cure to depression is to self-induce depression is that you make sure that you reflect and you look at yourself in the mirror and see, okay, what are the key things that I'm not prioritizing? Write them down if you have to, like on your personal life, on your faith, on your finances, on your family, on your relationship. Okay, what things am I ignoring? What things am I not acknowledging? What things am I avoiding or not giving the time to, that's going to give me the sense of fulfillment in order for me to feel like I can breathe again and I can win. You know, and it's those little wins compounded over time.
Exactly. Yep, 100%. Do you want to jump on to the next question, or should we just keep going at it?
Yeah, you just keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just like reflecting, but you can just add on to
I just feel like I want to get...
We're getting used to this, guys. Our first one.
I know, so I'm like, give us a second, because we're trying to... There's so many of you guys, you know, obviously I want to get to everyone.
I actually really like that question.
Which one?
What do you guys notice that has changed within your relationship from before the breakup to after?
What do you guys notice that has changed within your relationship from before the breakup to after? Ooh, that's a really good one. I think for me, a lot. Obviously, if you guys watched our previous video, I went in talking about the kind of what he was saying, because I wasn't happy with myself. A lot of my insecurities, a lot of my self-esteem, all of that projected onto my relationship, right? So that affected us. So I think, you know, this time around, I have a purpose. I've learned a lot about myself, really focused on, you know, becoming a better version of myself. So I think I'm in a place where even like my faith, you know, we started going back to church on Sundays. And that really just, I think, tied everything together, where I feel like now so I think it was more like we were together kind of like kids. And now that we're together, you know, we're together back like as adults, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think right now that you said that, it literally just hit me, and this is why these conversations are powerful, right? Because I think it just made me realize, like, if you think about it, like literally what you said, we were in a relationship for so long that when we took that next level or that next step in life, we didn't take the time to reassess. You know, we didn't take the time to like analyze, you know, what were now your expectations, or what were some of the things that you now are feeling with all these other, you know, things in the equation, right? And same thing for myself. You know, I think, you know, when we broke up, I did a lot of self-analyzing too. And I think I've always been on like my personal development journey. Yeah. But I also had to understand why I felt, why, you know what I mean? So like a bunch of little intricate details.
You learn a lot about yourself. I think when you go through a breakup, it's really important. And I've said this plenty of times, that you really take the time to heal everything that's wrong with you. Not everything, but, you know, try to heal the biggest things that are bothering you, because that's when you're really going to learn about yourself, and you know your self-worth, you know? So I think it's really, really important that, what was I going with this?
I'm not sure.
No, you had said something.
You guys, take the time to like reassess.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously that too, that helps you kind of take a step back and realize the parts where you were failing as a mom, as a wife, you know, as a partner, and you really learn from it. You're like, okay, I never really thought about how he was feeling, or I never really thought about what I should have done, you know? So taking that break for us, or especially for me, I feel like it really made me feel like I could step back, analyze the things that I should have done, that I lacked on, and how I could improve to be like the best version of me for him, for the kids, just in general, you know? So it's so important to...
I mean, I think one thing to like consider too is that like I think you and I had like a very old school relationship, you know? Like we started dating before like social media was really a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we didn't even we had the flip phones.
yeah, little flip phones.
We remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but we would talk like after a certain time, because
after I think it's like 8 p.m. or
after
something
8
like that.
p.m.
Yeah.
I think Cricket at the time was when it first came out, and I was
With
so
this-
happy
yeah,
because I was
with
like,
its unlimited plan.
Yeah, I was like, I'm able to text him all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were literally dating before social media was a thing.
So I think that portion of it was like we grew up like that, but then also too like we obviously came onto social media, and then we grew a lot. Right now we had different people's opinions. You know, for the most part, not everybody that watches you for the right intentions. So we got to see even that side of things. So it was just a lot of like moving parts to where it's like now anything that you do is sort of seen through like a, you know, a microscope or whatnot. You know what I mean? If she says something wrong or people don't get the full context, all of a sudden now they're judging you and criticizing you for that specific thing that they think they're seeing, right? And so I think that kind of adds on to like, you know, if you're somebody that is already going through it, if you're going through like your personal journey where you're trying to heal yourself, trying to grow, and then on top of that you add social media, you add, you know, all these opinions, all these judgments, it's only going to make it worse to the point where it's like a breaking point, you know? And I think that was one of the things that happened with us. It's like we were good to the point that we were no longer good because a lot of the things that were said or, you know, whatever were compounded, and then it just broke. You know, everything just broke. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? And it just went south from there. You know?
It was just so much. We really had to go through every like, every phase that, and it was just all thrown in at once. So we were like, oh my God, this is so much. You know, we were still learning about ourselves, learning about this new industry, learning about how we can make it work as a couple. So it was a lot, you know.
I think also now too, it's like, honestly, like I'm grateful that it happened. You know what I mean? As hard as it was, and like, you know, as angry as I was,
it was
like,
a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, because I think I got to grow a lot too. You know, I think one of the biggest things for me was that I had a lot of time to like self-reflect on me, to really be selfish on myself, right? Because I'm the type of man that loves to provide. Like that's what gives me sense of fulfillment. And during this time that we were in together, it gave me a lot of like time to really just give to myself. You know, it's like, what do you really want? Like, you know, what kind of man do you want to be? What is it to be a man? You know, why do you feel certain things? Like, why do you feel like the need to provide? Why don't you, you know, like doing things for yourself? Like a bunch of like little questions that I never took the time to like self-analyze or answer. I got the opportunity to do that, you know, and I grew a lot mentally aware. I realized, you know, what kind of person I was, you know, a lot of little details that I think we never got the opportunity to because we were so committed to a relationship, right? And also too, coming off of, you know, obviously, you know, with the whole shutdown, I don't want to use the word because I don't want to get banned, right? But the whole shutdown for 2 years, my business took a hit. I didn't feel like a man where I couldn't provide as much, or, you know, I was going up to like an up and hill roller coaster where it's like had really good times in business, and then bam, the next month all the way down to where it was just really hard.
And then we had a baby on the way too,
so
that added like, obviously for him, the pressure of being the provider, his business taking a hit, and then for me, like the hormonal changes, like my body changing, you know, all of that. I think it was just and it's,
well, add that, and then the fact that I was trying to like take us to the next level, and her being in a place in her life emotionally that she couldn't even save herself, you know what I mean? So no matter what I did,
it wasn't gonna,
for me it was like a como una like I said, like a lost battle already. So I was just like, damn, I gotta figure this shit out on my own, you know what I mean? And then from there it just, again, you know, it just ended up to what it ended up being. But honestly, I think it was a blessing in disguise, because I feel like now more than ever, like I love our relationship. I love her for her morals, her character, who she is as a woman, you know, what she stands for and what she believes in. So I don't know. It was like a really like a big eye opener. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a big eye opener for sure.
Yeah, I think it was, like you said, a blessing in disguise.
As always. What up, Bo?
Hey, what's up?
Bojanglings.
And then my cousin too. What's up, prima? It's crazy because my prima, she's in LA, and she's supported us ever since
day one.
Yes, since day one, you guys.
Hey, Chris too, though.
Christian
Belinda
too,
and Chris.
yeah. Christian's her husband, so they've been, even though they're family, you know, they're always watching our videos. Every time we upload, they're like, "Hey, like,
Yeah,
one of the first ones."
Yeah, sometimes like we'll upload something and then I'll get a text from Chris like, this, and this, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what? Like, where did this come from? You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, he watched the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's cool having a family that, you know, truly really support you. But that's my cousin. Maria's with me though.
Yeah, she's in here.
Yeah, it's Bo. Maria's with me. Hey, Maria. Aw.
Yeah, they were supposed to be out here
this weekend.
This weekend, right?
We were gonna go to the safari park, but Maria had to do some personal stuff, so yeah, we're definitely gonna catch up with them.
I feel like that's one thing that I always appreciate about, you know, Bo and Maria, and I think this is something that goes for most people, right? When it comes to like their friends, there's those friends that can be distant for a couple of months, and then boom, as soon as, because life happens, right? You know, you got kids, you got businesses to run, personal life, etc. But every single time we reconnect, it's always like we just start again from where we left off.
It doesn't feel like, yeah. And they're always trying to check up on us.
Yeah, they're always checking up on us.
Yeah, but it does feel like, oh, wait, nothing happened, you know. But I think because we're like mature adults, or like, what?
Mature.
No, it's true though, because you could have a lot of people and they get so butthurt.
Yeah, there's so a lot of times people think that age and maturity go hand in hand, and they don't.
They don't.
There's a big difference between age and maturity.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Huge difference. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's nice to reconnect with them and be like, oh, hey, like nothing happened. You know, we're just like, so what? We catch up on what has happened, you know? So yeah, those are always like the best.
So shout out to us always. And that's something that I want to give huge props, right? Because not props, but just like a thank you, like a public thank you. Because I think Bo and Maria have been people who have allowed us in their home. When we first, you know, even got to meet them, like they like allowed us in their house. And I remember you and I used to like talk about it. We're like, damn, like this is crazy. Like, you know, can't believe they're doing this. Like, you know, it's surreal. So they've walked us in with like open arms since day one. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And have always helped us, guided us. Like they've never gate kept anything. Mm-hmm. Like they've always been super open, super supportive. Like Maria was one of the like my friends that kept checking up on me all the time, like, hey babe, like always super uplifting. Maria will hype you up, you guys. Like you could be wearing chanclas and like sweats, and she'll be like, girl, you look so good. And you know, she really hypes you up. So
yeah, no, but honestly, super thankful. Honestly, they played a huge part in our life and who we are today. So shout out to you guys.
Yes, we love you guys.
Love you, Bo.
Love you. Does that work like ASMR or no?
I think so. It should, because there's a really good microphones.
But yeah, wow, look, we're falling behind all these messages.
I know.
I know Maria watching this and blushing. Aw. Yeah, no, they're super genuine, like really good people, you guys. And she's like such a badass mom too. I'm like, you guys. That's one thing that I was like, people don't realize. There's a version of people that you get to see online and offline. Well, I guess let me rephrase that, right? Because Maria and Bo are the same people that you see on videos off camera, but the part that they don't see off camera is that they literally have like a system for their kids. No,
it's like
for real.
JJ like, has this, you know, this this Sereni has this class, she has this tournament. We got a shower. Like I don't know how
they have
y'all
a
do
system.
It.
Every time I go, I'm like. I'm just like, Maria, I don't know how you do this. They have 4 kids, and I'm just like all the time, like, how do they do this?
Yeah, honestly, they're with 2 freaking amazing parents. Because us with 2, we're like running with like chicken, their heads cut off, and they're over there with like a whole ass system with a bigger family.
I remember one time we went to it was JJ's birthday. Remember, we went to the what is that called? the Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to the Great Wolf Lodge, and I remember we had Aiden. Aiden was like at the time like 6 months old. And we were gonna change him, and I was like looking for a bathroom to change him, and Bo literally was like, "Nah, we can change him." He like literally puts his lap like this, lays Aiden on here, so his legs were literally the changing table, and Maria's like changing the diaper, and then they, like within less than a minute, you guys, Aiden was changed, and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "That's how you know."
That was quick.
It, like, you know, they were, us was like our second time being parents, but then they got this.
They have a whole system.
They're having a whole system, you guys. They're amazing.
They have
parents,
two more
though.
kids worth of experience.
Literally.
Oh.
Diosito bendiga su relación, hermosa familia. Thank you. Hey, yes, I sometimes need to come back. Love your story. You two have showed and paved the way for grown adults to mentally take care of themselves first.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that we definitely want to like kind of really emphasize, you know, during these conversations. It's like, as humans, we can think that we're mature and we think that, you know, we know every aspects of life, but the reality is that we're always evolving, and you should choose to evolve, right? Whether it's in your personal life, in your finances, in your relationship, and parenting, and so many different aspects of life. Like, you can always be better, right? And I think the more that you commit yourself to being disciplined and choosing to make yourself better, the happier that you're going to live your life, right? Because I think the only reason why we are here where we are today is because we consistently continue to work on ourselves, whether it's mentally, spiritually, financially, in all different areas, right? Because the more you learn, the more you earn, whether that's money, whether it's you know, experiences, whether it's spiritually, whatever the case might be. But always seek to like become a better version of you, because if you do, trust me, it's going to change your life. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that image, and I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to have a whole system down to where if I know I'm going to talk about a specific topic, like I'll have an image ready so I can just click the little button and you guys get to see it, right? But there's an image on that I saw on social media. It's these two people riding a bus, right? One of them on the right side, all he sees is like the wall, right? And the other guy sees like a super scenic view and he's so happy. The one looking at the wall is super sad, right? But they're both on the exact same bus. The only difference is that one chooses to look to the scenic view and one chooses to look at something that's the negative, which is the wall, right? And I think that's us as people in general. Like, we get the opportunity to choose what kind of life we want to live. We get the opportunity to choose what kind of struggle we want to have. We get the opportunity to have the body that we want, the mind that we want, the car that we want, the life that we want, the house that we want, etc.
Well, you have to change,
but we have to make that decision, you know? And I think a lot of times, like, the reason why people don't go after their dreams is because they think it's hard, it's scary, it's
not worth it.
It's not that it's not worth it, but it's like it's gonna be a challenge, right? It's gonna stretch them to, you know, to a version of themselves that they haven't yet been. But if you really think about it, you're already doing that. If you don't have the money, you don't make the money that you want to make, and you're not living the life that you want to make, you still have to deal with the same challenge. It's just, you just get the opportunity to choose which challenge you want to have, right? Which one's going to give you a better outcome? Like, time, effort, and energy invested into a specific outcome, which one's going to give you a better return? The one that's you're always in the same place year after year, miserable, only getting worse, etc. Or in the time where you commit, you sacrifice, you struggle a little bit, but eventually when the tables do turn, you come out the best version of you. You come out with the life you've always imagined. You come out with the relationship you've always wanted, etc. Both have the same amount of effort, the same amount of time, but one has a better outcome. You just get to choose that outcome, you know?
And I think one of the first steps to that is the victim mentality. You have to get yourself out of the victim mentality, because the victim mentality, you guys, I've been there, and in every shape, way, or form, it will take a toll on you, because it will set you back from even, you know, if you're in a situation, you start feeling like the victim, you won't learn anything from it. And then if you switch it, you know, to being like, oh, okay, what can I learn from this? And understand that the things that are happening to you is for a reason and for you. Yes. And also too, a lot of times taking the responsibility of knowing, like, if this is happening to me, what did I play in part that, you know, it's happening, ¿cómo se dice? Like, yo tuve la culpa, you know, pretty much. Like,
Like you basically created that
Yes,
situation.
exactly. Like for example, for me, guys, I tend to like leave things for last minute, right? And because of that, I'm always rushing. I'm always, in a bad mood, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to get somewhere, and I'm just all pissed off. Everybody that crosses my path, I'm getting upset. But then I start to think about like, no, this is my fault. This is my fault. Like, why am I, so angry? Is because one, I could have prevented this by, maybe waking up earlier, setting up things the night before. So all that little thing, I'm like, okay, it makes me stop, realize, and be like, okay, so tomorrow, or the next time, how can I prevent this from happening again? So just take yourself out, because I could have easily been like, man, like, get out of my way, everybody's just in my way, and let it consume me and mess up my whole day.
100%.
So
yeah, and it's like this is one of the situations that her and I were talking about the other day, because it was one of the things that I was always think about, before I started my business, before any of this, right? I was working at a bakery. And I would always get so mad that every time I would save like $1,000 or try to save $1,000, something would happen. I had to get new tires, or something went out of my car,
The car
or
broke.
unexpected expense came up. And it's like, damn, like, why is it that every single time that I'm trying to do this, like, something always happens, right? And then it got to the point to where I realized, like, it's not that things are happening to me, but it's because I haven't yet put myself in an environment or in a position to make sure that $1,000 no longer worries me, right? How can I become the version of me that no longer has to worry about that $1,000? Let me worry about that 10,000. Let me worry about that 50,000 instead. Let me worry about that 100,000, right? Even little things like that a lot of times we don't realize that it's our fault, right? It was my fault that I was working at a bakery that wasn't paying me what I needed to be paid for, right? Not saying that they were underpaying me, but it was my choice to be there, right? I wasn't doing the things to make sure that I got out of that job so that I can earn the money that I thought I should be earning, until I started self-developing, reading books, listening to inspirational stuff, compounded over time. It led me to where I am now. Now my worries are different, right? But at the same time, I had to become the person of being able to, that was capable of changing those worries.
Yep.
Right?
100%. That's huge.
Yeah, that was fire.
Mic drop.
Mic.
He's like, yeah, that was fire. We have to have like a button where you just push it like mic drop.
Yeah, well, that little thing that I bought. So,
okay.
Little backstory, guys. I bought the whole setup, right? We're supposed to have a second angle. The camera's right here, but the micro HDMI that I bought came wrong. The adapter for the Stream Deck, no, not the adapter, but I struggled a lot more to get the live stream set up and the audio working, so I didn't have enough time to mess around with the Stream Deck. But on the Stream Deck, I can add images, I can add sounds.
Next time.
I can add clapping sounds, change the camera angle,
Everything.
Bring in an intro, put in an outro,
That's
like a bunch of all these things. But once I get it down, this is just the beginning. But again, this is a perfect example of like, things are not ever going to be perfect no matter what, right? But just go ahead and do it, right? We could have easily said, you know what, forget it. The other HDMI didn't come. Let's just schedule it for next week. Let's wait for the right equipment to come. Let's wait for the right thing to come. I didn't get a chance to figure out this thing, so I don't even want to do it. No, just do it.
We're here, you guys. And like I told him, it's our first live video. We'll get better. We're experimenting, and the whole purpose of this is to put out content, even if it's not perfect. At the end of the day, the message is bigger than
the quality or the equipment or all that.
Exactly. So we're here. We're gonna make the best of it. We will get better. Obviously, right now we're going off a bunch of topics just because we're reading off the comments. But next few topics will definitely have more of
like a system, like a topic.
Yes, like a topic of and also we want you guys to let us know in the comments if there's a specific topic you guys want us to touch on, to give our perspective. We would love to do that too.
Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to add is like the whole concept of these live videos is to just grow awareness, right? What we say, you might not agree with it. What you think, we might not agree with it, but we can both have a discussion that can expand our mind, so that now I can learn, I understand her perspective. Cool, that makes a lot of sense, right? It's just, that's why it's called progressive breakthrough conversations, because for the most part, when people say something, people take it for face value, right? So it's like if you guys see like a news article or a post on social media, and if somebody says, oh, you know, so and so, whatever, right? But on the description, the whole message could have been something completely different, but they used that image to just grab your attention. But now you're going based off of face value for what you think it was when it really was something deeper,
Yeah.
right? So
I mean, I feel like you learn from every
Yeah.
conversation. There is something. All we're saying is to just basically come in with an open mind, because when you come in with an open mind, even though you might not agree with us, just having that open mind to listen to what we have to say. You might not agree with it at the end, right? But at least you get something out of it that might, impact you or impact your life in a certain way. Like just one
Yeah.
keyword that we might say, which is like, oh, because that's how we feel too,
Yeah.
even though sometimes we're like, oh, this person's getting so much hate. We're like, okay, but why? We want to know why. And it's not just because of the headlines, not because of one little thing he said we need to listen to the whole conversation to be able to be like, okay, now
Yeah.
it's up to us whether we want to agree or not, or
But that doesn't mean we have to react or attack,
exactly.
right? It's like we can all have a different opinion, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, so and it's also one of the cool things about this is that I think we are in a space where we get to meet a lot of people who are in different aspects of their life, businesses, careers, financial situation, etc. That we want to be kind of like that vehicle and that channel to bring that onto you guys, right? Because I think for the most part, one of the things that I always say is like, there's so many people out there that you guys can go and listen to empower your mind, become more aware, etc. And for the most part, people are always like, well, where do I find them? Or where do I do this? Where do I find so-and-so, right? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, why don't we just be the vehicles of that message, right? Maybe you guys can relate to a message that maybe we had to learn in a completely different way, but now we filtered it, analyzed it, gone through it, then now we can express it over to you guys so that you guys can go ahead, take it, run with it,
And
just
do
give you
whatever.
guys like a sense of purpose. Because honestly, one of the things that I find that's so beautiful about becoming more aware is that it gives you a sense of excitement and fulfillment, knowing that there is more to life, that there is more
Absolutely.
out there, that you are capable of achieving much more. You just have to go out there and get it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And I think when you do go out there and try, even if it's the smallest little thing, it's going to help you build your confidence. And the smallest little things keep adding up. And then next thing you know, you're opening up a restaurant, you're, doing that thing you always wanted to do. So it's just little small things. Like, don't even think like, oh, that's not going to help me. Like, let's say you've been wanting to change your eating habits. You doing it's going to build your confidence. Wanting to take that course you've been wanting to take, just do it, and at the end you're going to feel confident. And it might not be something that's for you might not like it at the end, but that's always going to lead you to
a bigger opportunity.
I always feel like just start off somewhere. Just doesn't matter what it is. It's something you've always wanted to do, just do it.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's going to lead you. God is going to close that door if it's not meant for you, but he will open the next door and the next one and the next one, and eventually it's going to lead you to who you're meant to be. But you
100.
just have to keep moving, keep doing something. Mic drop.
For real, that was fire. But yeah, to add on to that, like literally, like one of the like going back to the whole $1,000 story, right? The whole thing. One of the things that I tell myself now is like the same money that I was so desperate to like hang on to, I should have let it go, right? Because for the most part, now knowing what I know, it's like I invest into these educational things and courses and mentors because I know that if I give somebody $6,500 or $10,000, I know I'm going to make that money back and tenfold. Because now I have acquired knowledge, now I have acquired a skill set, now I'm more talented, and I have more skill sets onto my to my bag or to my toolkit that I can now put out there so that I can get more clients, right? But yeah, one of the things that I always remember is I remember when I was crying in the car because I had failed my loan officer license like 3 times, and I was like, why God, like
you were studying. He was like up at like 4 a.m.
When I was
sleeping
saying you guys
like 3 hours a day. My mom was like, does he not sleep? Is he okay? Like, how can he function? My mom, typical Mexican mom is like,
they worry.
¿Ya comiste? ¿Y por qué estás comiendo bien poquito? Why are you sleeping? Like, so we at the time we were living at my mom's, and so he was up till like 12, 1 in the morning, go to sleep, be up by 4 in the morning. So this was like every single day. And at
For
the
like
time,
2 years.
yeah, and at the time you were also prepping for your show, like a physique show. So he was studying, meal prepping, and I could see, you know, he was really devoted. He was doing flashcards. He was
It's leaving
studying.
no stone unturned.
Yeah, he was 100% committed. So when he failed his test, and I think he failed it twice,
Three
times.
Yeah.
He was broken. He was devastated.
Because I was like, okay, the first one, I get it. Maybe I missed something or I just misread the things. The second time, I was like, wait, like what's going on? You know what I mean? The third time, that one really hurt me because I was giving it
100%.
everything. I was giving everything that I could, leaving no stone unturned, going to sleep as least amount of hours I could so that I can make sure that I was studying and everything. And I failed, right? And the reason why I feel like that one was like a breaking point was because also too, like after you failed your NMLS for the third time, you have to wait a year. So now I'm like, oh my God. Like
it's not like you can have endless tries.
I was like, now I have to wait a whole year in order for me to be able to change my life or just even start to be able to change my life, right? So that broke me. And I was like, you know, like I was crying. I was like, why? Like I'm giving this everything. Like I'm being faithful. Like I'm this and that. Now seeing how things have turned out, like God has something even greater for me, right? Because now I get to live the best life possible doing what I love and in a career that now in this time and age is so necessary. Like it's the most ideal career in anything right now, whether you want to be a YouTuber, whether you want to create content for your business, whether you just like to create content and you want to make a living. That's literally what I get to do every single day today. And if it wasn't because God put me here, he didn't give me what I thought I needed, but he gave me what he really knew that I wanted without me even knowing that I did.
Yeah. And at the time, didn't
I
make
couldn't
sense.
see it.
We couldn't. Well, because we also didn't know anything about personal development. We didn't know what we know now, right?
Yeah.
At the time, it was just kind of like, like.
That was our only exit, our
honestly,
only
for
hope.
me, because he didn't graduate high school, I honestly thought it was just like, he's just.
I'll be a loser.
Yeah, like literally, I was just like, he's just not gonna pass because he's not good at taking tests. 'Cause he was never good at school, you guys. So I always thought like he's probably not good at taking tests. Like he's done. You know what I mean? But it was because God had a bigger purpose for you. That was
100%.
not your door. That was not something you were meant to go through. So
I think if you're like me, one thing that I want you to like to really take from this is that a lot of times when people fail or they mess up or they don't get it right on the first or second try, they give up. Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this has been the reason why I am where I am today, aside from obviously all glory to God, right? But because I was comfortable with failing forward. And what that means to me, it's like, okay, I might fail today, but I know tomorrow I can go a little bit longer. I can be a little bit better. I'm gonna have a little bit more knowledge so that I can make better decisions, right? So the more you fail forward, the better that you become, and compounded over time, you get to a place where you finally break through and you make it out. It doesn't mean that you are bad, that you're not smart, that you're not intelligent. It just means that you learn different, right? For me, it's like I have to apply things over and over and over again until I get it down to a science to where I can do it with my eyes closed. So same thing, it might be the same case for you. It's like if you fail today, don't give up. Don't be like, oh, I wasn't good at this, so that's why I didn't do it. If you become a real estate agent and you didn't sell a house, oh, I'm not a real estate agent because I didn't sell a house. Let me give up. No, keep failing forward. Keep getting the no's. Keep doing all these things. If you like creating content, if you post content and you only get 3 views and 2 of them are your mom and your dad and 1 is your brother, like don't give up. It's not because you're a bad creative. Eventually over time you're going to get to a place where you're better and you have a bigger audience, but you have to every single day fail forward and keep swinging and keep doing it. And the more that you do it, the more repetition, the more at bats, the more opportunities that you create. And all it takes is just one video that just changes your life completely.
Yeah.
know?
How does that thing go? Repetition or consistency beats talent or something like that?
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Is that one?
There you go.
Yeah,
right?
that was me for real. I was like,
Yeah.
because I wasn't intelligent at the time because I wasn't aware enough, right? I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. I didn't know the relationship, the people that I know now, all these things, right? But I was like, one thing I am is I'm gonna work my ass off. So I was like, I used the one thing my one skill that I had. I leveraged that to the biggest capacity that I could, to now I can work a little bit smarter. I can now like, you know, her and I have been having this conversation of like, I've gotten to a place in my business where I've now understood and realized that the effort put it into it compounded over time. So if I was to do the exact same thing for the next 2-3 years, the amount of sacrifice, the amount of time and effort put into it is not going to be worth the reward. So now I'm in a place where it's like I don't take on any more clients. I'm rejecting clients, but because I know that I can create the same outcome that I want, just through a different format at a different vehicle. And again, that happened because I put myself in rooms of people who are doing these things, right? I invested like $6,500 into a mentorship, and I made that money within the same week, right? So there's all these little things that I'm now aware of that I'm like, okay, now that I have this information, let me structure this, let me analyze it, let me get good with this so that now I can achieve the same goal that I wanted to do with a lot less effort, with a lot less time invested to it, and with a lot less time taken away from my family, you know, which was a game changer for me, you know?
Yeah. And I always tell him too, like, I feel like God placed you in these rooms, obviously with like big entrepreneurs for a reason, you know, obviously for him to grow as a person, but also to bring back and share with, you know, his people or the people that, you know what I mean? Like, como te digo, like, it's for you to be able to share it with others. Because,
yeah.
and he has that in him, and I've always told him this, like, I feel like you love to help people and you love to bring everyone, because he's just a giver, right? So I tell him, like, God puts you in these rooms, like, think about it, you know, people are paying, so, because he does with his big entrepreneurs, they're like boot camps, they're classes that they host. They're charging what, like over
anywhere between, at a minimum of doing $1,000 to like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per class.
Per class, yeah. Right? And so he has access to be in those classes. Obviously, he's doing his job, but at the same time, you're getting all this information that people are paying thousands of dollars to listen to. You're getting it for free, right? And I always tell him, like, I think it's for a bigger purpose. So obviously his purpose, I'm like, you are meant to be there to learn, to
lead,
yes, exactly, to lead. And then, you know, obviously he knows where he came from, and just sharing all that knowledge onto
other people. Yeah. And it's funny because even like since back in the day, you would always tell me this. You would always be like, I see you one day on stages, I see you one day doing this.
Yeah, literally,
like, you know. And I'm like, damn, like, that's crazy, right? Now I'm barely starting to kind of see that, because it's like, okay, now I feel a little bit more confident. Not crazy because you were wrong, but crazy because
like the idea,
I couldn't see myself there yet. I was like, I'm not confident enough to do that. I don't have the knowledge enough to do that. I don't have the skill set, right? But now it's like, okay,
you're starting to believe it.
Yeah, because I've replicated the same success time and time again, to where now I know a formula that if I apply this or I give this formula to other people, they can go and get the same result, if not better. Right.
Exactly.
So now because of that, I'm like, okay, now my confidence built up because I have these skill sets that I've put to the test and they've worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that gave me the confidence to be like, I know that if I give this to somebody, they're going to go and be successful. Right. So
Exactly.
People can't judge me. People can't criticize me, because at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest fears of why people go into stages. Because it's like, damn, if I say something, what are people going to think? They're going to think I'm wrong. They're going to think I'm this, etc. But now it's like, no, like I know that it's my purpose. I know that it's my calling. And, you know, like you were saying, her and I always talk about this. When I first started my career, I started working with the top of the top real estate agents and mortgage professionals. I was like, okay, maybe that was just luck, right? Then I started working with the best of the best influencers, the top of the top. And I'm like, okay, like, why? Right. And now with the it's like not celebrities, etc. Now I'm working with top level entrepreneurs that are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions, per month, and I'm like, why? You know what I mean?
There's
like
always a big
I know.
Like God places him with the big hitters, you know, and I think it's always to help you elevate and show you what's out there.
What he has in store for me.
Yeah, what he has in store for you.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that I've always said, and I always have these conversations with God, I'm like, God, whatever you give me, just know that I'm gonna make sure that I glorify you, and that people know that everything that I am and that I became was because of you, right? And I honor that. So it's like, I think the more that I go, the more that I'm able to impact and like do his work, because I share a lot of stuff that I shouldn't for free, right?
Yeah.
Because I really genuinely want people to win. And even in my inner circle, like, there's people that I give more than maybe that I should or whatever, but at the same
Yeah.
time, those are the things that make me genuinely happy, right? And it's a sense of fulfillment, it's a sense of excitement. But also too, to kind of like add on to that, you and I were having this conversation that it's like, I feel like I'm traumatized, you know what I mean? Because I think when you have a good heart and you give a lot, there's two types of people. The type of person that's going to be grateful, is going to go ahead and be successful, and you know, you played a big role in that. And then the other type of person that's just going to use you, that's going to take advantage of your kindness, etc. And I think I've gone through both sides, right?
Yeah.
But most of it has been the other side, where it's like, people just get close to you to get something from you, and then once they get it, then you're irrelevant,
out,
right?
yeah.
And I think that has traumatized me to now having to change who I really am, to be more protective of me, to be kind of like have like a wall up. So that's why I have a hard time just opening up to people now, or just allowing people that I know I can impact and might deserve that, you know, impact. But it's like,
You're afraid.
a good person is, it's too close to a bad person. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, it's basically like that person, a person that I held prior looked just like that, sounded just like that, acted just like that, and I thought they were great, and I allowed them, and they still did something to hurt me. You know, so now it's challenging for me to kind of like open up.
You start seeing the what is it called? The traits.
The characteristics.
The characteristics.
I'm very
yeah.
analytical. I analyze people.
But
I
I was telling him, you know, obviously you don't know who's truly genuine. You know, it's really hard to really know what people's intentions are, and sometimes it's hard to read people. Sometimes it's easy to read someone because you're like, oh, I can tell you're just this type of person, right? But I told them, like, you can't change who you are, because God obviously gave you the heart that he gave you for a reason, you know, and at the end of the day, it's their loss, because you know your intentions and you know you truly wanted to help that person. But if they got close to you just because they wanted or needed something from you and that was it, then that's their loss, because they're losing a great friend, you know. Jose, so he has a big heart. He has nothing but like good intentions for people. He's always going out of his way for his friends and all of that. So I told him, like, just because, you know, you've had relationships in the past that have hurt you or that have failed you as a friend, does not mean you have to, you know, do that to somebody else, because you might impact their lives for a reason. And, you know, and for a reason, God gave you this heart. And I don't want him to change that because somebody came and, you know, affected him and all of that. Because look where God has gotten you by you opening up your heart. Yeah, like, it hurts, and I know it's you know, it sucks being on that edge, but you know, look who's winning at the end of the day. You know, you have everything you've always dreamed of. You have the career, your, you know, the family, like, love, everything. And so you're truly winning. You know what I mean? So I always tell him, like, you can't, you know, yes, I know I understand you want to have your walls up, but just as long as you're doing it with pure, true intentions, and if they're trying to hurt you, that's on them. You know, you can't. Remember I told you about the snake? That the guy tries to save the snake that was burning, and like the snake bites him, and then he tries to go in and takes it out, and the guy's like, why are you trying to save the snake? Like, it just bit you. You know, he was like, well, I'm not gonna, you know, turn my heart like cold or something like that.
I mean, to add on to that one, I think there's a quote that I heard recently that's like, you know, humans are the only species that we don't know their intentions. You know what I mean? It's like, if you get close to a snake, you know, more than like that snake's gonna bite you. You know what I mean? If you get close to a shark, the shark's gonna fucking bite you. You know what I mean? So there's all these things, but when it comes to like the humans, it's like people can be certain and different. And I think that aspect of things, it made me hyper aware to the point where it's like I analyze a lot of little things, and people don't realize this. Sometimes people slip up and they say something that I'm like, let me remember that. You know what I mean? So something so simple that to them might not even mean anything, but to me that was like a huge like red flag. You know, I saw this video the other day that this guy talking about, I think it's called like hyper something, but it's hyper awareness or hyper.
I think you sent it to me.
Yeah, but it's like I as you're talking, I'm analyzing what you're saying, and there's gonna be certain keywords that slip up if you really aren't that person that you're trying to say that you are, and I'm gonna catch on to that. And the moment that I catch on to that, now I'm gonna be aware, and I'm always gonna be keeping an eye on you as a person and as an individual, because I know you're gonna move different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because you know, maybe a person that could have been a great person, but has gone through their own individual struggles, their own individual things that they think they need to be somebody else, that could have been a great relationship or whatever the case might be, right? And now I'm kind of not allowing that to happen or flourish or become what it's meant to be, because I'm so focused on protecting myself. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy thing, and I think the more people that I'm around that are, you know, have achieved a lot of things in life, successful, like they go through that a lot too. You know, a perfect example, like my client and my mentor Marcus, like he did a YouTube video called Financial PTSD, right? And it's so powerful because again, he went through similar stuff that I'm going through. I want to
definitely do like a topic about that.
Yeah, because it's like when you make money, now you have people that want to get close to you just because they think they deserve that money. Or a family member that's like, hey, I know you helped me with this and this, but you're not helping me with this, and because of that you're a piece of shit, and now you've changed, and now you're not humble, and now you're not that. So it's like, for the same things that they praise you are the same things that they'll attack you for. So it's like, well, who do I trust now? Like, what do I do? Like, I didn't do this to make other people feel bad, but now with people acting a certain way, now I have to have a barrier up and stay away from people, even though that's not my natural.
Everyone is saying it's frozen. There you go. Mine's loading. Oh my gosh. Okay.
There it is.
Oh, there it is, guys. Okay, so let us know.
The one thing we didn't think about.
All right. See, this is what we're talking about. We're so glad that, you know. All right. See, this is what we're talking about. We're so glad that. Wait. You know.
My bad.
What's going on? Wait. What's going on? Oh. All right, guys. So what happened is the laptop died.
Yeah, that was the one thing I didn't consider.
We were so worried about the batteries for the camera dying, but it's our first time, you guys. So we're grateful you guys are still here. With us. Just bear with us. We're back on. Next video will be better.
Yeah.
Next week.
I think that should be. Let's see if anybody has. Put a heart, guys, if you want them back.
Hey, aw. I was reading to some of them. I saw I don't know, I forgot her name, but she commented that she saw our live video on IG. She's like, and for some reason, you know, I came on here and what you guys are talking about is helping me because I'm going through something, and you guys have no idea like how much it.
I think that was one of the beautiful things about when we announced that we got back together, was that a lot of people, you know, related to it, you know, and the fact that we talked about it. And again, I think the biggest part about all this is like, it should be an encouragement to you guys to just be you, right? You're going to attract the right people onto your life. You're going to attract the people that want to be with you. Obviously, it's like anything, right? You're always going to attract people that might not be the right people, but at the same time, you're more than likely going to get the people that you do want to get. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's, you know, going on with you guys right now. We had over 200. Now we're at 161 people literally just here, you know, watching this video with us at 6 p.m. when they could be doing something completely different. So these are the moments that, as much as you guys see us doing it, we want you guys to go ahead and do it too. Yeah. I want this to be like a compound effect of like, look what we've been able to do with people just like you. I grew up in the hood. I had no money. I come from nothing. And everything that I built myself to be. And same thing with her. We're people that are just like you, that, you know, we have no special talent aside from the fact that we're just willing to put ourselves out there and really be who we are and you guys can go ahead and do the exact same thing regardless of anything, right? I think the one of the things that one of the episodes I wanted to be on, like, overcoming the family hurdle, right? And the reason being is because our biggest critic sometimes, and the reason why we don't become the people that we're meant to be, is because of our family, right? And it isn't necessarily that sometimes they might be bad people and they don't want to see you win, but they've never seen somebody else do what you might say that you want to accomplish, right? So because of that, they're not going to create that support, one, from like a protection mechanism to where they don't want to see you hurt, suffering, and go through pain. And the other one is that they might not know any better.
Yeah.
Right. So you get both sides of it.
Oh, Stephanie Rubio, can I get a shout out, please? Shout out to Stephanie.
Shout out,
Thank
Stephanie.
you for watching us. We love you, girl. I really appreciate what you both are sharing. Thank you, Michelle. The audio keeps cutting off.
Is the audio good?
Is audio good, guys? Thanks for coming back. Thank you guys for coming back. Love you guys, and happy you guys are back together. Thank you so much.
My son Messias says hi to Aiden and Mila.
Aw, hi, Messias. Hello from Seattle, Washington.
Happy you guys together. Thank you so much.
Sitting on the kitchen table doing homework with my daughter while listening to you guys. Let's go, Patty. That's an amazing mom right there. Sitting down. Props to you, girl.
That's crazy. Like, so I want to emphasize this comment that says, out of everyone who kept asking or wanting for you guys to get back together. Oh, wait. Out of everyone who kept that. Oh, I read it wrong. But basically, like,
what you think is that?
I thought she said, out of everyone, you guys were the ones that I wanted to get back together. And the reason why I want to say that is because when we did our video announcement, there were so many people that were commenting the same thing. They were like, you know, we've been praying for you guys and this and that. And I think for me personally, I had a bitter taste in my mouth after we announced when we broke up, because there were so many people that were waiting for that moment. You know what I mean? Like, there were so many people that were like, I knew they weren't perfect, all this and that. You know what I mean? So it definitely left me like, damn, like, people really sometimes just want to see you fail. You can be a good person, you can be all this and that, but people still want to see you fail, right?
Then again, it's a reflection of them.
100%. But now seeing, you know, comments like the one that I thought I was reading, but obviously I did see a lot of those on our video when we announced that we got back together. Like, that was something that was like, okay, like, let's take a crack at this again and, you know, really do it right.
Living with the Escobar, she's like, same here, laying down, I have to work at 4 a.m., but y'all are worth been up. Love y'all so much. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Done with class, putting my daughter to sleep while I finish homework while I'm listening to you guys. It's almost 10 p.m. out here in Chicago. Man, that means so much.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
crazy.
You guys. So when Jose and I weren't together, I was in my, you know, personal development. I mean, I still am, but at the time I was, you know, just trying to be the best version of me. And I remember I would be cooking, I would be getting, you know, I would wake up, put one headphone on, and I was getting Mila's lunch, I was doing her hair, driving her to school. I was just listening to like podcasts, listening to, you know, videos like this, where I was so hungry for, you know, learning about how I can become the best version of me, how I can grow every single day, because I was so tired of feeling, you know, obviously depressed and feeling stuck where I was. So, you know, now hearing you guys say like, hey, like, I'm putting my daughter to sleep while listening to you guys, it means a lot.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful to know that, you know, you guys are taking time out of your day to, you know, just listen to us, and hopefully we're able to impact you in any way, whether it's, you know, in your relationship, whether it's personal, faith, anything. But yeah, this is why I love social media. This is the only reason why I love social media, you guys, that we're able to impact people's life in a positive way and just build beautiful connections. You know, it's so beautiful, like, from all across the world.
Yeah, it's honestly super grateful. And I think you know, this should be like a perfect example for you guys too as well. It's like, you know, for the most part, you guys see influencers with hundreds and thousands and millions of followers, but, you know, at the end of the day, all you really need is a couple hundred that really walk with you. 1,000 people compounded, obviously you'll get to the millions, etc. But imagine the amount of people that are right there live right now, which is, I think, 167 people right here in this room. It'd be crowded You know what I mean? It'd be
It is
so, we
crazy.
couldn't even fit him in here.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think about how powerful that
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean? So the next time you guys put out a video and it only gets 200 views, 500 views, just remember that
50 views.
50,
We
imagine
were
50
getting, like,
people
50
in a
views.
room waiting just for you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Exactly.
You know
My
what I
kiddos
mean?
are bed. They're ready for bed. I'm settling down and watching y'all's beautiful love story. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, there's definitely a lot that, I'm excited to really touch down on these this
topics.
new next few topics, because I think we just really want to share like struggles that we go through as personal, in our relationship, business. There's just so much, and I think it's going to be good for everybody to like learn from them and stuff.
So the last question, and then we're gonna call it a wrap. That
Yeah.
one says, Anita, what was the first thing you did to love yourself and change into the person you are now? That's a great question.
That is a really good question. Honestly, guys, like the first thing, I think what I did was, because I lacked so much purpose in my life, I knew that I had to do something to give me purpose, right? That was something that I needed to get me out of the funk that I was going through. So I literally enrolled into a microblading course, and I was literally talking to him because I don't know if you guys have, if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I started my journey with the plasma fibroblast. For those of you guys that don't know, it's like a treatment on the skin. I started off with that business, and it wasn't a success. It wasn't a success. So I actually went to, when I first started it, I was like, okay, I need to look for a place to work out of. So I went to this girl. I found her like on a Facebook group, and she was renting out like a little room. And so I went up to her, and she at the time was doing microblading. And I was like, I walked in her room, and I was like, oh, like this is cool. She was dressed up. She was wearing heels. She looked really well put together. And I was just like, man, this looks really cool, And then I asked her, like, so what do you do? She's like, hey, like I do microblading. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I was just like, what is that? I never really took the time to, learn about microblading or anything. So that kind of, like, ¿cómo se dice? Me dio curiosidad to be like, what is that? But I just loved how she was dressed. I loved so then I started looking into microblading, and that's, I took that course, and that changed everything because it gave me a sense of purpose, right? So I started feeling confidence too, because I was like, okay, like within the first, when I announced it, I had so much love, so much support. When I started taking clients, I started asking for a deposit, and it was just crazy because I remember when I started taking deposits, my phone was like boom, 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 boom. It was like 30 messages within like 5 minutes, like boom, 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 boom. And I was so mind blown at how much money was coming in from just deposits. And I was like, oh my God, like you're telling me I could do this as a career? Because at the time I didn't really do it because of the money. I was just trying to find something to get me occupied, to get me, to get me out of this funk. So yeah, that's how I started. And like, this is why I tell you guys, do the smallest little thing, or do the thing that you've always wanted, or just do something with, just anything. Put yourselves out there, and that's going to help you build your confidence. That honestly helped me build my confidence. As a business owner, I started dressing the way I envisioned myself. Like, you always have to envision the woman you want to become, whether it's your morals, your why am I drawing a blank?
Your physique, your mind.
Your morals and your values. So like your values, your morals, how you want to dress, how you want to look, and start showing up as that woman. Like, I was always envisioning myself like, okay, I gotta look this way, start wearing heels again, I gotta start doing my makeup again, start, getting into fitness, like shaping my body back again, because I was, I had just given birth with Aiden, and I, going through the breakup, I lost a lot of weight, you guys. I was down to 90 pounds. I was probably the lowest I've been in a very, very long time. So that obviously made me even more insecure. So just, getting that sense of purpose. And then I started reading a lot of like self-development books. One of the things that I struggled with was my emotions. I couldn't control my emotions. So one of the books that really helped me was How to Master Your Emotions. And that one helped me a lot to realize, that we're really in control of our emotions, and your emotions can either make you or break you. And it's huge, so huge. So obviously, started realizing like, okay, I have to work on this. I need to be better at, dressing up better, showing up, taking time for myself to be a better mom. Just little things, but every single day, you guys, I would wake up, put on my little headphone, and listen to a podcast, listen to just positive things. And that slowly, I don't know, it's just crazy because compounded over the time. Yeah, in a year and a half, I felt like I grew so much, and it's crazy because I'm like, how can somebody grow so much in a year? Like now looking back, even like things that I would say, I'm like, oh my God, like why? You know what I mean? So yeah, wow. All right, see, we kissed.
No, I think that was beautiful because I think, one of the challenges that I feel like we went through was that I wanted this version of her. I knew that she could be this woman. I knew who I envisioned her to be, right? But it was one thing for me to believe it and another for her to see it, right? Or want it, because she was such in a dark place, right? So I think the breakup really forced her to become that person, right?
Yep.
I think a lot of the times when we go through tough times and hard times, that's when we realize, like, damn, if I'm already this low, if I already am not doing this, if I'm not doing that, I have nothing else to lose. The only way to go now is forward, right? And I think it took that breakup, that whole
Losing
situation
myself.
that happened, losing herself, to hit rock bottom, and for her to realize, like, there's nobody that's gonna come and save me. There's nothing anybody else can do, give me, say, whatever, that's gonna change how I feel about myself other than myself.
Absolutely.
And seeing her go through that, and now that's a skill set, right? Now she knows that, hey, whenever she's not feeling capable, or whenever she doesn't feel the way she's feeling now, she knows where to go. She knows to whether go to the gym, go to church, again, right? Go back to her morals, go back to her values. Like, what anchors does she have in place that can get her back up
Ground
again?
you.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because, I think a lot of times when we were together before the whole breakup, I would question, like, I would hear stories when people were like, oh, when I hit rock bottom, this is why I became the person that I was. And I always, maybe I called this upon myself, but I would always question, like, when am I going to hit rock bottom? When is that version of me going to come out? Because I always felt, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but so when we were together, and I've said this in many videos, like, he would always be taking care of me all the time, right? So I felt like my happiness really depended on him. I was just waiting. I don't know, honestly, I don't even know what I was waiting for, but I just wanted something to make me happy. And whether, I don't know, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but I was just waiting for something to make me happy. Like, and it's crazy because a lot of you guys would always tell me, Anita, oh my God, like, how can you guys break up? Like, you had everything, girl. You had, he's an amazing man. You have your family, you have kids, but I wasn't happy. Like, it was me. And no matter what he tried to do, it was just never going to fulfill me because I just wasn't happy with myself. So, obviously when I had my fall, my breakthrough, or when I hit rock bottom, I kind of had to, it was probably one of the toughest moments of my life. Like, I kid you not, I was walking and I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I wasn't fully there. Like, people would talk to me and I was just kind of like gone because I was there was just so much happening, right? So yeah, I would literally cry in the middle of the night, just, asking God, like, why am I feeling so helpless? What, just guide me, like, give me something, get me out of it. Because you get so tired of feeling unhappy, you get so tired of feeling empty inside and just sad, so me praying to God every single day. I was praying to God every single day, you guys. I was just like, please help me, guide me, if whatever it is that you choose to do with my life. I trust you 100%. And so just taking it day by day, and like I said, just taking a breather and finding that purpose. Now I'm like, damn, I can't believe so much can change in just a year and a half. And that comes, that's for everybody. If you're going through a really hard time right now, pray every single day, take opportunities, do things that you been wanting to do, just do them, because that's going to take you to who you're meant to be.
I love that. That was beautifully said. And I think one of the things that a lot of the times, again, like I was saying, and I think this comes with our upbringing and our culture sometimes. We're always quick to blame other things. We're always quick to blame society, our parents, the cops, the government, etc. And we don't take into consideration that we might be the problem, right? Until a situation like this happens, to where it's like, damn, all the excuses and all the reasons that I was pointing to as to why I wasn't who I wanted to be are all gone. The only person left here is myself, and I still can't get that, right? So then that's when you realize, like, I am the problem. And I think I went through that early in my life, and that's why I was able to kind of I knew exactly that what she needed to go through. What I mean? You and I had this conversation, and I told her this one time when we were having a conversation where we were like, you know what? As much as it's going to hurt me and as much as this, I know that you need to go through this experience in order for you to become who you're meant to be. You can hate me right now, you can hate me later, but I know that one day you're going to thank me for this.
Exactly.
And she was like, I hate you.
I was like, hell no, I freaking hate you. Like, how could you do this to me? I'm obviously going through that, but now I'm super thankful, because it was kind of like a parent type of thing. Like, you have to be strong and not give in, or else it would have been the same cycle all over again. It was just, I would have never been able to find myself, to be honest. And I was reading one of the comments right now, how she was saying how postpartum depression is real. She said, I just got out of it, and sometimes I feel like it's coming back. And my daughter is almost 2. So I was just literally talking with him earlier that postpartum depression is real. 100%. I went through it with, Mila. It does linger for years, and I had no idea. But sometimes, trust me, you guys, I was just telling him, like, whenever I do go on social media and I feel like I spend a lot of time on there, I start getting depressed. I start feeling anxious. But it's crazy, because I feel like I start having like panic attacks in a way, because I remember what that felt, and I don't want to go back to maybe it's PTSD.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
PTSD. But every time I spend a lot of time on social media, I start scrolling, and then I start like feeling, it's such a weird feeling. I start feeling drained, like my energy, and I just feel sad. I just want to be in bed. But I snap myself out of it. You have to pull yourself out of it. Like, whether you feel like it or not, you need to get up, and before you start identifying with it, because once you do, then your mind tricks you and starts thinking that that's what your reality is. So read How to Master Your Emotions, guys.
And there's this guy that I'm super passionate about, like, sociology and psychology. That's one of the things that I deep dive a lot into. I love, like, the intricacy of the mind, right? And there's this doctor, his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love his stuff too. And what he talks about is that, people who deal with anxiety and depression and all these things, your body actually craves that feeling, right? Your body goes into a state of that becoming an addiction. Right. So it's like the first thought of you thinking that you're getting anxious, your body immediately wants to take you there. Right. I forgot exactly how he worded it, but it was so powerful, to the point that it's like, it made me think a lot of how to be more aware of it when I am feeling sad. Because I was telling, her and I were having this conversation earlier, and we're literally just talking about this, how even myself there, I'm like, damn, I'm doing good, you know what I mean? But then I go onto social media and it's like endless scrolling, and then it's like, it's not that I'm comparing myself to nobody, it's just like, this is draining.
It
You know what I
is.
mean?
It
It's like,
really
why?
is.
Like, it doesn't even have to be about like somebody living a better life than you, or
Yeah,
none of
no.
that. Like, no comparison. It's literally just endlessly scrolling with no sense of purpose, with no sense of anything, is draining, right? And also too, it makes me realize like, hey, you're spending time on social media. You could have gone to the gym. You could have spent this extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes with your family. You could have cleaned the house. You could have done this and this and that, right? And all these things start piling on. So then you start feeling depressed. No, not just because of social media. Social media was just a trigger that made you realize like, hey, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this. So that piles on, and then you're like, all right, like, I'm done. Like, I don't
Yep.
even want to get out
You
of bed.
drain.
I'm over this day, right? And
Like
then
you feed off those energies
yeah,
too.
now imagine that adding on to the second day. You go to sleep and then you're like, okay, well, I rested, I feel better. Let me just go on social media a little bit. And then you go, tun, 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 you go again, and then you feel it again. Then you waste another day. Now imagine a week, imagine a
Yep.
month, imagine a year.
And if you don't have a purpose, it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to get sucked in there, and to get out, it's hard. It's really
Yeah.
hard, but you really have to like know how to stop it. Now I go onto social media to post content, to I hardly ever go to interact or consume as much. If I do consume, it's usually for my brows. Like I have on my For You page, it's all about brows, like how to wax, microblading. And I notice that I feel a lot better when that type of content comes up, because it's obviously my passion and I love it, and I learn something, or I take something out of it in a positive way. So I would say definitely, try to spend less time on social media and really focus on yourself, listening to positive stuff that's going to benefit you in a positive way, whether it's for your business, personal development, as a mom, a fitness journey, or whatever it is, that hobby that you have, like, start getting it more into that. And that's going to, slowly help you get out of that funk, because social media, yeah, like it's going to consume you. I don't know why it does that. Like, to me,
It's dopamine. So it's like,
yeah, dopamine.
so we're talking about that. It's like a dopamine effect, right? It's like you're getting a constant rush and a constant high of feelings, emotions, etc., off of short form video, right? So now it's like food, right? Obviously, food is gonna make you recharge, re-energize, makes you feel like you have more energy, right? But imagine adding too much food is gonna make you sick. It's gonna make you
Too much of anything.
too much
is
of anything
bad.
is bad, right? So same thing applies to social media. It's like, if you're gonna go in there, go to consume content that's gonna add value back into your life, that's gonna give you excitement. Follow the right people. Remove the drama pages. Remove the influencer that you keep comparing yourself to. Remove whoever might be,
You
that
feel like
friend,
it's
that
just
relative that is constantly always posting negative stuff. Remove all that people from
You
your life.
have to, you
And
guys.
the more that you do that, the more you're gonna fine tune what you really want out of life, and it's gonna, again, allow for you to continue to grow and become the version that you ultimately want to become, because now there's no longer all these little exterior things that are affecting the way you think and
Yeah.
affecting your vision.
Yep. And sometimes it's hard, but you really need to do that for the sake of, your know where your boundaries are.
Yeah.
Also too, like that's one of the things, start looking into boundaries, because that's ultimately going to help you to become the person that you're meant to be. Like, boundaries is a huge thing, which, we'll get into more in detail with these type of topics, but
This was just our first one.
this was just our first live video, and we just kind of rambled
a little
all
bit of
over the
everything.
place, a little bit of everything. But this is kind of what we're going to be talking about, to give you guys a feel of these type of conversations. Obviously different topics, and we'll mainly talk about that topic instead of
A
broader.
bunch of general stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I hope you guys
Enjoyed
like
this.
But yeah, it's so cool, like, looking at all these comments. You guys should make a list of books you guys have read that have helped you.
Let's do two. Let's give out two right now.
Okay, so for me, I think I've already said one. As far as like my personal, I think was the how to master your emotions. That was huge for me because, like I said, I'm a I'll admit I'm a very how do you say, reactive person. Yeah. So I noticed that that was affecting my relationships with my kids, with him, with just anybody, right? So I was like, okay, I need to learn how to master my emotions because I want to have a healthy relationship. I want to be able to learn and not be so much on edge. And also, you know, it's going to help me in every aspect pretty much in my life. So that one, as far as my business, it's a really good one. Relentless by Tim Grover. Grover.
That's like a staple in my life. The reason why I have this tattoo is because of that book, you know. So I second that one.
So yeah, those are my top 2 favorite books. If you guys, for my women out there, if you guys want to learn about, you know, you find yourself as a woman and learn to love yourself again, there's a book called that I read. Let me see.
Which one? I have it right here.
Damn, I'm blind, babe. Okay, so it's this one, Feel Sexy Again by Erica Limke Pembroke. That's what it's called. And also, I have so many.
I know, there's a lot of really good ones.
The 5-second rule. So if you're a procrastinator and you just want to, you know, get up and move, the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins is a really good one too.
She's super powerful.
Yeah, follow her on Instagram too. She's always constantly posting.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys a hack. I don't know if you guys are like me. Like, I hate reading unless it's something that I really want to learn. But for the most part, this app called Audible has like been a game changer. I've been a member since like
since you were doing
13, I want to say.
Yeah, because
it's like almost 10 years. Like almost 10 years now.
Yeah, it helps me too because I'm the type of person, I don't know if I have ADHD or what that's called, but you know, when you're reading, I have to read the first page or the page I'm on like 20 times because I start reading the first line and my mind starts going to something completely different. Same. Or I'm like, wait, what did I just read? And I have to read. So yeah, Audibles is all I listen to, and I usually listen to it when I'm driving, when I'm showering, because sometimes like when it's like, you know, you got to shave and your hair and all that, it's like a 30-minute shower. I listen to those when I'm doing my makeup. I'll put like one little like my headphone when I'm cooking, just anything.
Yeah. So honestly, I would second, third, fourth, and fifth, Relentless by Tim Grover. That book for me was the book that helped me become who I am today. Like a lot of times, like us. So this is so beautiful, and like everything happens for a reason, right? So today I was listening to something that says, for the most part, people, because on social media it's like a trending thing when people say, find your passion, let your passion fuel you, let this and that. For me, I didn't know what my passion was. You know what drove me? Anger. Anger drove me, like, you know, just aggressiveness, like darkness, that I was like in a tough place and I couldn't get out, and I had all these people judging me, criticizing me, saying what I could and couldn't do, who I was and wasn't gonna be, calling me crazy, etc. So a lot of that energy I channeled, and I was like, I'm gonna show you, you know what I mean? So for me, that's how it started. It originally started as like, you know, aggressiveness and anger. That's what got me going.
Like, you know, it's different for both of us. I don't know if it's like a thing for men that anger is what drives them, and for women it's more of like because they lose themselves, so they're trying to find themselves again. You know what I mean? Because hearing you talk, I'm like, oh, okay, like anger, like, you know,
because there's a lot of different things that can help you achieve the same outcome, right? Like how she said for her it was like more of finding herself, finding her passion, etc. For me it was just proving people wrong. You know, now that's no longer my purpose and how I do things. But in the beginning, that's exactly what took me to where I am today, because I was like, I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to prove you wrong, all these negative things, right? But that's what got me here. And that's one of the things that the book Relentless really allowed for me to do, because it talks about how we all have a dark side, right? The dark side that you don't show, that you don't put out into the world, that people don't get to see, which is the real you, right? And dark side doesn't mean that you hurt people or that you do bad things to people. It's just that raw energy of like that, those thoughts in your mind, like, hey, you're gonna allow this person to doubt you. Hey, you're really gonna allow this person to what's it called, embarrass you. You're gonna allow this person to judge you, criticize you, call you crazy. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? That type of energy. And that's what I originally started with, you know. So that book Relentless really gave me the confidence to be able to channel that energy. Instead of it being aggression towards people, it became aggression to my goals. So that I can use that same energy that other people use to backlash and attack and fight and try to change people's perspective. I was like, no, channel that towards your goals. You're gonna, the same, you know, energy that you're gonna put onto these people. No,
that we're breaking out. We can only hear every 3 words.
Oh, somebody said that here. Let me find.
Okay, probably just cut off a bit.
Yeah, the exact same energy that you would have used to try to prove your point, instead of use the exact same energy to attack and go after your goal. It's the same fuel, right? You can only use that fuel for so long until you realize, like, hey, I'm no longer in that stage of my life. I no longer need that. Now I get to do things out of a sense of fulfillment and excitement. But in the beginning stages, you can either be the person that, you know, achieves their goals because you were in the pursuit of passion and this and that, or you can be the person that was like me and you just became who you are based out of anger. You know what I mean? So Relentless, amazing, incredible book. Another one that I will say that, again, is by Joe Dispenza, is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, right?
Oh yeah,
that one's
a good one too.
Super dope, because for the most part we act and we do based on the things that we know. Right? In our mind, we all have our own reality. If I tell you, hey, did you know that you can make $100,000 a month? I wholeheartedly believe that. But since you don't, because you haven't been exposed to that environment or that idea of it being possible, or even fathom the idea that it's even a possibility, you're the only person that's stopping you from actually being able to achieve that. Because there's thousands of people, if not millions of people, being able to do that every single month. Right? But again, it's your reality. I
forgot about that one. That one is a really good one.
It's your reality, so it kind of gives you like this ability to be able to take a step back and be like, okay,
self-analyze.
Self-analyze yourself to be like,
these are like the habits. These
that
are like
make me this way, that make me believe and see these things, right? Yeah. So that one is super powerful. It has a lot to do with the mind, because the mind is
everything.
Is everything. And then I'll add another one. I think this one you guys will really enjoy it, just because it's very short, but it's very powerful. Direct. It's called, where is it at? It's actually a book by Russ, the rapper.
He has a book?
Yeah, amazing book. Whenever you get a chance, listen to it. Where is it at? I have so many freaking books. Where is it at? Russ. Or it's right here. It's All in Your Head. It's only an hour and 25 audiobook, which is super fast and short, but again, direct to the point, and it just shows the power of the mind. You know, like if you can control your mind, if you have the opportunity to be able to self-analyze yourself. And I
never thought he would write a book like
amazing
that.
book. It's a great book. Like I would reread it,
listen
to it again.
To that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much.
But yeah, guys, can you maybe post on your social media the books you guys just mentioned?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go ahead.
Somebody had said like to do a giveaway.
Of a book. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I just ordered the physical copy of Alex Hormozy. I'm an audio person. I much rather listen to it while I'm doing cardio, I'm doing whatever. But that book is like a book that I'm like, I gotta have it just to have it, because that guy's an amazing, like, intellectual individual, super intelligent in business, like amazing guy. But yeah, we'll pick out a book. Let's do Relentless. Let's do Relentless by Tim Grover.
Relentless,
so, yeah. We'll give away the book.
You do Relentless. I'll do How to Master Your Emotions.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
We'll do 2, because I feel like they're both really good.
Yeah, I like that.
I always talk about How to Master Your Emotions to everybody, because it's
and I always talk about Relentless.
Yeah, I just feel like it's just so good. But yeah, guys, I don't want to end this.
I know, this was so dope.
Fun. This was so much fun, you guys. I wish I could literally talk to every single one of you, because I know how it feels, especially if you don't have like the support system at home or wherever you're at. I know that sometimes you just want to talk to somebody. And I just wish I could literally sit here and answer every single one of you, but obviously there's so much, and then the video would probably go for like hours and hours. But this is why we're doing this segment, the next few segments are going to be about certain topics that, might help you guys. And also, please let us know in the comments about certain topics that you guys want us to touch on, maybe because you're going through it or you just want to learn more about. So yeah, let us know.
So the next one we'll have Mila on, and then from there we'll kick off the overcoming the challenge of your parents.
Yeah, los
dichos, and overcoming our cultural habits. You know what I mean? Because I feel like those
That's
are things
huge.
that keep us where we're at. For years, if not our entire life, because we're so scared of going against our belief system or our traditions or our culture or obviously our parents. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Make sure you guys like the heck out of this live before we end it.
Yeah.
If you guys were impacted, if you guys received something of value, if this was even interesting, you guys make sure you guys like it. Share this with somebody else who you might want to tune in for the next episode next Wednesday, just so that we can all continue to grow and become the best version of ourselves. You know what I mean? Which I think after a year of doing this consistently, we're excited to see where you guys go in terms of your personal life, your mindset, your finances, your spirit, your faith.
Imagine we do a live thing, and then we all write down where we're at in our lives, and then what we want in our goals in the next few years, and then obviously keep doing these type of videos and encouraging you guys, and then come back in the next 2 to 3 years and then see where we're at.
Yeah, even just a year. You said,
in a year, or see how much you guys have grown from listening to us, because we're going to be doing this every Wednesday. So
yeah,
seeing how we impacted your lives. I think that would be
because at the end of the day, we just want to plant that seed of hope.
Yeah.
It's you can hear somebody that we said and this and that, and all of a sudden you're like, poof, breakthrough. Now you can go and chase something that you were maybe hesitant on. But
for those of you guys that are just joining, you guys are saying you missed the whole thing. I think the video's gonna
so
save.
it's gonna save, it's gonna auto publish, so you guys can go ahead and rewatch this.
It's gonna be kind of like a video that we uploaded on YouTube, so you guys can always go back and rewatch it. And if you guys didn't get the list of the names, make sure you guys go back or
anything. But
what
anyways,
time Wednesdays?
6 p.m. every Wednesday.
6 p.m. every Wednesday, guys.
Pacific Standard Time.
Yes, Pacific Standard Time. We'll probably announce it on our Instagram before we do go live. So make sure you guys stay tuned. But in case you guys can't make it, it's always going to be posted on our channel. So make sure you miss it. Always go back onto our YouTube channel and you guys can rewatch it there for whatever reason that you guys can't make it.
Yeah, so it's dope.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We love you, Jam Fam. We love you guys.
I love you. Thank you so much.
We are super grateful for every single one of you. And we can't wait to, grow as a family together and just
bring you guys along for the ride. You know what I mean? If you guys didn't have anybody before, now you have us. And now you have over 180 people that you guys can.
Damn, I'm blind.
I think it's 186. 186 people that you can now network with, etc.
186, yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for
guys,
being here for the entirety of this, maybe
almost 2 hours. If you guys stuck with us since we first started, you guys are real ones.
For real.
But yeah, guys, we love you guys, and we'll see you guys in our next video.
Let's go.
We can't do that.
We can't. It's live.
Oh.
Let's see. How do you end this?
Good question. He doesn't know how to end it, you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Did you get it? All right, right there.